King Mike here with another Jagaria last video. And I got a new prize showcase banner to talk about. Where we got 3 new units, 2 new adventures, and 1 new dragon, which are Valyx and Phares are the new adventures, and Michael is the new dragon. And if you're wondering, yeah, this goes until Valentine's Day. And, well, early predictions, on my opinion, hello, Gawa units. Hello, these are basically Gawa kind of styled units, in my honest opinion. These things are it's insane. So let's talk about them. First up, we got Valyx, who is a light axe wielder, and boy does he have some crazy powerful stuff. So his first skill, Royal Blitz, which is a shared skill, and it's got a 5 SP cost shared skill, and it's got a shared SP cost of 11,461. It does 4 hits of 500 and 1 hits of 600 damage, which total goes up to 2,600 damage, and inflicts both paralysis and flash burn. Yeah, but then there's Lightning Rampage, his second skill, which is his Dispel. It dispels buff, and it does 600 times 3 hits plus 1,700, which is 3,500. So, just pure power. And then defense, and team defense up equals HP regen, V. And then here's his ability, Stalwart Warrior 2. When shapeshifted, the user will transform into Thor, regardless of what dragon they are equipped with. Grants the user a unique force strike that draws enemies towards the user. In addition, grants the user immunity to knockback for the duration of quest, permanently energizes the user, and when the user takes damage, grants them the Defiant Spirit effect for 20 seconds. Curse ability and afflictions will not reset the user's energy level, nor will using skills. So, 2,600 and 3,500. That's going to get multiplied by 1.5 every time. That's ridiculous. And during Defiant Spirit, damage dealt by the user's standard attacks and their area of effect are increased. Yeah, damage dealt by the user's standard attacks and their area of effect are increased. That's after Defiant Spirit is granted, the ability will not granted again for 5 seconds. So you can keep that up by just using Force Strike. Also, restores 30% of the damage taken during skills or attacks as HP. So, yeah. This effect auto-activate, taken during skills or attacks as HP. This effect auto-activates while charging skills or attacks and during the transformation sequence when shape-shifting. So, not only can he dispel, but he can heal himself and just do crazy damage. Unconstrained Fate 2. Reduces ability to poison and curses by 100%. Warrior Shield 2. When the user's HP drops to 70%, grants the entire team a team defense amp with a maximum team amp level of 2. And a one-use divergence shield that notifies damage up to 40% of the user's maximum HP. This shield can stack with ordinary shields. Yeah, that's already kind of going nuts. After activating this ability, it will not activate again for 30 seconds. Okay. Yeah, Valyx ability Stalwart Warrior 2 permanently energizes him during quests. Abilities whose activation requires the user's sign level to be increased or the user to be energized will not activate, excluding at the beginning of quests or when Valyx is revived. Okay, so what this so all it really means is all that really means is you can't use what's that thing's name? You can't. It just means that. What's her name? Oh my god, I'm forgetting her name. I think it's Lucretia. Yeah. Yeah, Lucasia. Alright. Yeah, it means Lucasia's chain collab, which gives inspiration, doesn't work with him. But who cares? You get permanent energy that works. And this essentially means he's now... This essentially means if you have Thor is now reliable, but only for Valyx. Because he's going to have energy all the time. So it's a permanent 95% buff. But what's even more busted about this is he can use it as a support thing. Because, true, he's not getting as much strength as, say, from Kronos Nyx or... What's the other characters? Or Gallery Point John. But every time he shapeshifts, he's going to get... True, and he can't use the best out of Kronos Nyx or Gallery Point John, seeing as how he can't transform into them because he's not the Thor. But basically, if you have Kronos Nyx on another person, Gallery Point, you could have Galathor on Valyx, and if you're not doing what's that thing called again? If you're not doing as long as you're not doing anything with Curse and Nihility, any team, and also not Kaleidoscope, you could essentially, he's a permanent, he can energize the team constantly. Because every time he shapeshifts, he's going to energize the team. If you have a full out Thor. And you won't lose strength with him because he's going to have that permanent 95%. Because because it's a permanent thing for him. Because of the permanent energy. Now we move on to Phares. And Phares is kind of one of the best support units I have ever seen. Wisdom tells me, grants all teammates a shield, increases their water resistance, and increases their chances of inflicting afflictions. If the skill is used during Dragon Drive, a variant called Punishment of Heaven will be used instead. Punishment of Heaven deals damage to enemies in a line and inflicts poison and storm lash. In addition, it will deal bonus damage to targets with victim of science, dispel one buff from each of them, then remove victim of science. This bonus damage will be increased against enemies inflicted with any infliction. So, that's shield. 50% of max HP. Water res plus 8%. That's 25%. That's 25 seconds. Affliction success rate plus 40%. That's 30 seconds. It can stack up to 3 times. That means you can get up to 120% affliction success rate increase. That's ridiculous. During Dragon Drive, it does 588 times 2 damage plus 588 times 2 damage plus 672, which is 1848. Not too amazing, but not too horrible either. And it dispels buff, gives you poison and storm slash, but then it can also do more damage, which would be 1.3. That's 2402. And 0.4, 40% mods. That's actually pretty good. Oath of Bonds removes all afflictions from the entire team, granting their team strength amp, and partially fills the user's Dragon Drive gauge. Jesus! If the user has the fatigue debuff, this skill will also remove it. I forgot what the fatigue debuff is. I think it was something that one of the someone uses it. I can't remember. I think one of the minions do. But yeah, it removes all afflictions, and yeah. If the skill is used during Dragon Drive, a variant called Uranus's Claw will be used instead. Uranus's Claw grants the entire team a team strength and takes damage to enemies directly ahead and extends the remaining time of any of the following afflictions inflicted on enemies hit by this attack by 15 seconds. Poison, Burn, Paralysis, Frostbite, Storm Slash, Frostbite, Shatterpoint, and Scorch Rend. The remaining time of these afflictions cannot be extended beyond their original duration, and after activating, this extension will not activate again for the same target for 15 seconds. But as long as you make sure you time it well, you could basically keep up a permanent you can kind of keep up permanent affliction throughout the entire fight. That's just That's just devastating. So, Affliction Recovery, all affliction, Team Strength Amp. Dragon Drive Energy gained is 1,000. Well, the first one is... Yeah, it doesn't give you Dragon Drive Energy. Only the first one does. During Dragon Drive, it does 1170 times 2. That's 2240, which is less damage than the first skill, but that's only the first skill if the enemy has afflictions. Then the first skill would do more damage, but yeah. Team Strength Amp. Jeez. And, oh yeah, Chaco ability. Win. No afflictions equals strength plus 6%. If the team members attuned to win, increases their strength by 6% when not afflicted with any afflictions. Yeah, he's really good. Uranus, and then Uranus's blessing 2. Grants the user a strength amp with a maximum team amp level of 1 when the user inflicts an enemy with an affliction. Yeah. So, after this amp is granted, the ability not granted again for 8 seconds. Also grants the user a Dragon Drive Grave and changes the shapeshift button into a Dragon Drive button. Tapping this button activates their Dragon Drive. The user's 4-strike will fail the Dragon Drive Grave if they connect. Dragon Drive gets the following effects. The user's standard attacks are changed and fills the user's Dragon Drive gauge if they connect. The user's 4 strikes are changed to deal damage to multiple targets and enemies those targets. They will also apply the Victim of Silence effect to enemies hit, which the user's strength is increased by 35%. The user's HP is restored when they are hit by an attack that inflicts an affliction. After activating this effect, will not activate again for 10 seconds. It's got freeze rest plus 100%. And then there's Thirst for Life 2. Reduces susceptibility to afflictions by 150% during Dragon Drive. Essentially, you could use Volk on him. And he will be fine. When he's in Dragon Drive, at least. As long as he's in Dragon Drive, yeah. He will be fine. He won't, that Volk affliction thing will be nothing. Also, during Dragon Drive, once per quest, when the user would take damage greater than their remaining HP, that damage is instead nullified. And the Dragon Drive gauge is completely consumed. Yeah, that's the one issue, though. It's only once per quest, but still, that could be a saving grace. Damage from attacks that forcibly reduce the user's HP to 0 or deactivate Dragon Drive cannot be nullified in this way. Also, with the exception of damage dealt by afflictions, buffs, debuffs, and certain attacks, the user will be temporarily vulnerable to damage while this effect is being activated. Wow. When activated, this ability's damage nullification effect also removes all affliction from the user applies the fatigue debuff to them for 60 seconds. Okay, during fatigue, the user cannot activate the Dragon Drive, and the Dragon Drive gauge will not be filled. Okay, so that's what fatigue... Okay, never mind. So, that's what fatigue is. So, you have to... So, make sure you have your second skill at the ready. Kind of. The stats shown include increase or decrease. Yeah. So, and now we have Michael, the last of the dragons. And once again, I was right with what they have. So first of all, his skill has close quarters and range combat. Deals damage so he has the close quarters and range combat for his skills and his standard attacks apparently. So yeah, during close quarters combat, deals damage to surrounding enemies, inflicts poison, and grants the entire team defense amp. During range, deals damage to the target and nearby enemies, inflicts storm shot, and gets over damage to the entire team. So, the first one does 1478 times 2, while the second one, which is 2956, and the second one does 2250. And yeah, so storm slash and then over damage. That's 100. But yeah, this one is really good. It's only 40%, which is inferior to the 50, but it lasts for 3 minutes. So there's that. And then win. Strength plus 60%. Michael's favorite 2. So this is where the hit count thing comes into play. And the range, yeah. Extends the window between hitting an enemy and the combo counter resetting by 2.5 seconds. So, extended combo timer. And for every 15 hit combo, increases the user's strength by 3%. Flurry strength. This strength increase can stack up to 10 times in this room where the combo counter resets. So, flurry strength. But one that stacks. So, if you do it 10 times, yeah, you can get up to 30% strength as long as you keep up the combo. Which is easy to do when you have a combo counter that is 2.5 seconds longer. Also, grants wind to adventurers in the team over damage based on 20% of the user's strength for 60 seconds at the start of the quest. And grants the users over damage based on 20% of their strength for 60 seconds when the combo counter resets. In addition, regardless of the user's attunement, regardless of the user's attunement, while shapeshifted as Michael, create a combat zone around the user, grants them one of 2 combat styles, close quarters or raids. If there are enemies within the combat zone, the user will engage in close quarter combat, otherwise they will default to range combat. The user's standard attack patterns and the effect activated by Angelic Storm will change based on their combat style. So, Michael, we have to see, he already looks really strong based on what his stuff is, but like he's honestly a contender to possibly be. Okay, true, you have to build up to his thing, but the fact that he gives you overdamage automatically just from his ability, he gives 20% to the team at the start of the quest for 60 seconds, and then it pushes up to the 40, and gives the user overdamage based on 20% of their strength for 60 seconds when the combo counter resets. And even and say there's a guy that doesn't matter, you could get overdamage 40 that lasts for 180 seconds. So at most he could get up to 90, which I don't know if it's going to be, like, it's hard to say, but I'm saying this right now. Michael is definitely a huge contender in the case of him being up there as one of the best dragons you could get for this team. I'm saying this right now. He can rival the other dragons in there. He can kind of rival Volk. He can rival, yeah. And these two, Valyx and Phares, just absolutely busted. Like, seriously, Phares brings to the table unbelievable help for teams with like his affliction stuff. With like the fact that he can increase affliction success rate, increase the duration of that. And his Dragon Drive is just awesome for what it does. And then there's like the whole, he gives so much to you. And he can use Volk, and while he's a Dragon Drive, he's basically fine. And then there's Valyx with his crazy damage, with his energy. So, yeah, definitely summon on this banner. This is possibly the best these are 2 units that you want. They're going to be great in everything. And in all honesty, I'll say this right now. Valyx shared skill is a pretty big contender for is possibly one of the best shared skills you could get for afflictions, because it's got the double thing, but it does insane damage. 2,600 damage is a lot. Anyway, guys, You get 2600% minus on that. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. If you like this video, please click the like button, leave a comment down below. Also, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.